Look back at your preliminary task. What do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to the full product? At the start of our moving image coursework, we did a preliminary task. We made a short scene with 2 characters. It was under a minute long and included a small variety of different camera shots and angles. The storyline was basic and didn't really reflect much of the elements that need to be taken into consideration when making a film opening, such as mise-en-scène, casting, and location. When making our final product of a 2-minute film opening, we developed our skills and ideas. We did this by using various methods to process our thoughts and get a structured idea of how we wanted our final product to look. We made an animatronic storyboard which conveyed a draft of how our piece would be ordered when we filmed. In our preliminary task, we used a camcorder which didn't display a very high quality. However, throughout the making of our final piece, we used a high-definition camera that displayed a better quality. Additionally, we took a lot more consideration into the mise-en-scène, storyline, target audience, genre, and camera shots and angles. This enabled us to make a film opening that conveyed more of a professional outlook on the film industry. In regards to sound and editing, we chose to include a soundtrack as we thought it would make the genre more evident. It also makes the piece flow a lot better. In our preliminary task, we had a lot of dialogue. We chose not to do this in our opening as we felt it was very hard to portray enough of the storyline without giving too much away with dialogue. Additionally, we muted out most of the sound in our film and learnt a lot more about transitions when editing our film opening. Our preliminary task contained many sharp jump cuts. However, with no soundtrack and a basic storyline, it made the piece look messy. We chose to include mostly jump cuts because our piece was quite fast-paced and it fitted with the genre and soundtrack used within our piece. It also made our piece flow more. We used a lot more fades to make the cuts from scene to scene smoother. We also learnt how to put credits over the top of scenes.